My name's George Gainey. I'm the founding partner of Gainey Law Group. We're a private client U.S. immigration law firm with offices in Washington, D.C. and Scottsdale, Arizona. We've seen an uptick in inquiries from clients asking about moving from an E-2 visa to green card status, typically through EB-5. I think there are three things to keep in mind around timing when considering a move from E2 to EB-5. The first has to do with sequencing. Very frequently, we see clients who have been in the United States for, a number of years. They typically have kids that have moved to the United States with them, and they want to make sure that their children are able to be included as dependents on their green card application. So in terms of timing around sequencing, moving from E2 to EB-5, we want to take a very close look at children's ages to make sure that we're able to protect them, that they're able to enjoy the benefits of being a dependent on their parents' green card application, making sure that they don't age out. So very important to look at sequencing when we're talking about E2 to EB-5. The second important consideration around an E2 to EB-5 move has to do with intent. So any client who has applied for an E2 visa through a consulate knows that they've signed a piece of paper indicating that their intent when they're applying for the E2 visa is to move to the US, direct and develop this business that they've invested into, and then at the end of their E2 visa period, depart from the US. And so intent and timing become very important, particularly if the client has recently applied for an E2 visa, recently renewed an E2 visa, or even recently entered the United States with their E2 visa. So we'll take a very close look at intent and timing of the actual filing of the green card application if someone has an E2 visa. And then finally, timing becomes very important from a technical requirements standpoint vis-a-vis EB-5. We will look at and discuss with clients in a very thorough manner when employees were hired, how long they've had employees as direct W-2 full-time workers in their business, when they made investments, whether they made a full $800,000 investment into the E2 enterprise at the very start, or whether they've made several investments over time, and whether that's going to get them to the requisite amount for an EB-5 qualifying investment. So timing's super important whenever we're talking about moving from E2 to EB-5. We do see a lot of clients decide to simply make a regional center investment, fresh investment for EB-5 purposes, rather than trying to, transmutate their E2 visa into a direct EB-5.